Yeah, in the previous video, I discussed the forebrain. Now, hindbrain. Now, midbrain I am discussing now. Okay, midbrain. And midbrain is actually a small one, but this is thick and stalked portion. Okay, and it is connecting link between forebrain, cerebellum, and pons of hindbrain. Okay, so this is a connection between hindbrain. Okay, forebrain and hindbrain. Between this midbrain will be there, and this is the stalk-like portion. And it is connecting link between forebrain and hindbrain. Okay, cerebellum and pons also will be there. Okay, then functions. What are the functions of this? It relays motor impulses from the cerebral cortex to the spinal cord. First, motor impulses from the cerebral cortex to the spinal cord, because from the spinal cord the message will be sent to react for the stimulus. That's why it relays the motor impulses. At the same time, it relays sensory impulses from the spinal cord. Okay, so both the actions will be done here itself in the midbrain. So the sensory thing will be sent to brain, and the motor, that is a reaction from the how to react to the situation, that is from the brain. Okay, even that is also will be done by this midbrain itself. Okay, so sensory as well as motor impulses from the central cortex to the spinal cord, from spinal cord to central cortex. Okay, so like this functions. And then next one is hindbrain. Okay, this is about midbrain. Now let us see what is hindbrain. And this hindbrain is having actually two, cerebellum and medulla oblongata, and it is the last part of brain. Okay, because forebrain, midbrain, second one is midbrain, third one is hindbrain. This is the last part of brain. Okay, and it consists of cerebellum as well as medulla oblongata. And here cerebellum. First let us learn what is cerebellum. Cerebellum location. This is below the cerebrum and above the medulla oblongata, because cerebellum extends with medulla oblongata. Okay, so below the cerebrum, this is situated just above the medulla oblongata, and it consists of two large cerebellar hemispheres. In the cerebrum we had seen already cerebral hemispheres, and here cerebellar hemispheres. Okay, same. Then two lobes are there, and these are called as cerebellar hemispheres, whereas in the cerebrum that is cerebral hemispheres. Then functions of this cerebellum: maintains posture of the body will be maintained by this, and equilibrium and muscle tone. Okay, all this will be controlled by the cerebellum itself. Okay, because of this cerebellum only the people who will drink, I mean liquor and all, okay, those people cannot stand, cannot maintain the posture properly, because they show the wobbling and all, because of this cerebellum will not function properly. When we drink, when we take any alcohol, immediately the cerebellum will be affected, and the posture cannot be maintained by the person. Okay, that's why immediately the cerebellum will be affected. Okay, so this is the main function. Function is maintaining a posture. So maintaining posture will not be done if the cerebellum is affected. Then medulla oblongata. This is the extension of cerebellum, and it is triangular shaped and extends from the pons to spinal cord. Okay, so from pons is the ending portion of this hindbrain, and from there to spinal cord, the extension of medulla oblongata is nothing but the spinal cord. Okay, and here, unlike white matter is outside and gray matter is inside, just like spinal cord. But whereas in brain, if you take, the white matter will be inside and gray matter will be outside. Even the reason also I discussed in the previous video, because the gray matter will be outside, because the white matter is in the inside. That is the reason. Here is the axons of the nerve cells that will come out through a small area. Because of that, white matter will be outside there, whereas here, sorry, white matter will be inside, but here white matter will be out and gray matter will be inside. Now medulla oblongata, this is the extension, and here the functions of medulla oblongata, here I have written. Let us see. Contains center for cardiac, respiratory and vasomotor activities. Okay, so this is a center for cardiac, respiratory, cardiac means heart, respiratory and vasomotor activities. What are vasomotor? Vasomotor, that I discussed here. I will explain you later. Now, coordinates reflexes like swallowing, coughing, sneezing and vomiting. So all these reflections, because see, if you take any toxin, then through your food and all, so that will be vomited out. This is because of this coordinate reflections by the medulla oblongata. Okay, these two are the functions. And now let us see what is this vasomotor. Vasomotor is nothing but actions upon a blood vessel which alter its diameter, because the blood vessel diameter will be sometimes contracted and sometimes expanded. Okay, dilates and constricts. Okay, both these things will be done, and that actions are called as vasomotor actions. So this is also done by medulla oblongata. So this is the main function of medulla oblongata. And next I can continue this. Under the topic central nervous system, already we had discussed this brain. Now let us see spinal cord, because spinal cord and brain are the main parts of central nervous system. Then spinal cord, this is cylindrical in shape and extends from medulla oblongata to the back of the stomach. Yes, so the extension of medulla oblongata, already I told you that medulla oblongata extension is nothing but the spinal cord, and this spinal cord will be extended to the back of the stomach. So we can feel it, and it is situated in the neural canal of the vertebral column. You can feel the vertebral column if you keep your finger on the back portion of your stomach. Okay, so this is inside the neural canal. Okay, neural canal of the vertebral column. Spinal cord, this is cylindrical in shape and extends from medulla oblongata to the back of the stomach. Already this I discussed, and it is in the neural canal of the vertebral column. The situation is neural canal. And here for this spinal cord, white matter is at the periphery and grey matter is inside, unlike the brain. So if you take brain, here grey matter is outside and white matter is inside, whereas here in spinal cord, white matter is at the periphery and grey matter is inside. And then the myelinated axons leave the spinal cord from the both sides of the ventral columns. Here the myelinated axons leave the spinal cord, whereas in the previous case, that is in brain, myelinated axons leave from the middle of the brain. Okay, so it occupies very less space, whereas here they occupy much space and from both sides of the vertebral column. And there are 31 pairs of spinal nerves, whereas cranial nerves are 12 pairs. Then functions. Here transmission of nerve impulses. The main function of spinal cord, here I have written. First one is transmission of nerve impulses. Nerve impulses will be transmitted. And neurons of white matter transmit sensory signals from periphery to brain and transmit motor signals from the brain to peripheral region. So from brain to peripheral and from peripheral to brain. So like this, both the motor as well as the sensory transmission will take place. The impulses will be taking place by spinal cord itself. Then peripheral nerve system. Actually these nerves attached to spinal cord have two roots. We know that some nerves are attached to spinal cord because spinal cord is part of central nervous system and it has two roots, and first one is dorsal side and the other one is ventral side. Okay, dorsal side carries messages of sensation inwards. Okay, so dorsal side only for sensation, whereas ventral side for muscular contraction. That is nothing but the motor nerves function. Okay, so sensory and motor both will be seen, both will be done in the peripheral nerve system, by the peripheral nerve system. Okay, so dorsal root and ventral side, whereas dorsal for sensation and ventral for motor. Okay, so like this, muscular contraction is nothing but the reaction to the stimulus. Okay, so like this peripheral nerve system, and in detail in the next video I will explain this peripheral nerve system. Thank you.